I have a word for you, and the word is you will survive. God will preserve you. You know, there are a lot of things that are after your life. Some of you may not have recognized that we are living in a world where there are things that want to take your life. They are not happy to see you surviving. They are not happy to see you rejoicing. Just because you have a place to stay does not mean somebody is happy. Just because you have a job does not mean everyone is happy. There are people who are not happy, but it does not matter anyway. Whatever they do will fail because God is with you. When people want to bring you down, God will lift you up. You are too hot to be handled. You will survive the affliction. You will survive the trying time. When the day of temptation comes, you will survive it. There are people who have set for you traps. They have put traps in your way. There are those that are studying your ways. Every word that you say, they listen. Every step that you make, they monitor you. It is as though you are having monitoring spirits. But you will survive, brothers and sisters. Today's scripture is in the book of Acts 14:19-20. Acts 14:19-20. And it reads, Then Jews from Antioch and Iconium came there, and having persuaded the multitudes, they stoned Paul and dragged him out of the city, supposing him to be dead. However, when the disciples gathered around him, he arose up and went into the city, and the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. My God. This scripture talks about Paul, who was stoned and left for dead. Now the scripture says the Jews from Antioch and Iconium came there, and having persuaded the multitudes, they stoned Paul and dragged him out of the city, supposing him to be dead. There are people who have persuaded others and they have stoned you. They have stoned you. And when I talk about stoning, it does not mean physical stones. Some of them have stoned you with words. They have placed curses on you. They have falsely accused you and dragged you into courts of law. And they think that they have overcome you. They think that they have achieved victory over you. The scripture says when they stoned Paul, they dragged him out of the city. Some people have dragged you out of the city, out of your home, out of your workplace. Just like Paul was dragged out of the city. And the scripture says, supposing him to be dead. They supposed him to be dead. Some people think you are dead just because they have put fines on you, just because they have said all sorts of words against your life, against your family. They think that they have conquered you. They think that you are now dead. But however, the scripture says, however, when the disciples gathered around him, my God, when the disciples gathered around him, when the disciples gather around you, you will rise up, brothers and sisters. When those of similar faith, when people gather around you and start praying, you will rise up. The scripture says, when the disciples gathered around him, he rose up and went into the city. Now, some of you are wondering, where did the strength come from? Because this man was left for dead. It is true, the man was almost dying. But when he saw the disciples around him, when he saw his brothers and sisters in the faith around him, he gained strength. Your strength comes from the Lord. That's why you see it's very important. When you see somebody going through trials, when you see somebody being persecuted, pray for them. Stand with them. Pray with them. Do not laugh when somebody is going through trials. Do not laugh. Do not take it for granted. Pray with them, brothers and sisters, because prayer works. The prayer of a righteous man availeth much. There is prayer that does not avail much, but the prayer of a righteous man, it availeth much. So keep praying. So the scripture says, and the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe. The next day you will depart and you will go to a place that is stored for you. When they persecute you in one city, run to the next city, and God will be with you. Do not get worried of people who stone you, because they can do nothing. There was a scripture of a man by the name of Stephen. Some people will pronounce him as Stephen. This man was stoned to death. But even in his pain, he forgave them. He forgave them. Men may have stoned you to death. They may have said that you cannot make it. They may have put all sorts of things to tie you down, to cripple you, to destabilize your activities. But do not give up, brothers and sisters. It is not the end. It is just the beginning, brothers and sisters. The best is yet to come in you, because God will be with you. The scripture says that the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs to it, and he is safe. The reason as to why Paul was safe, the reason as to why even in his pain when he was being stoned, imagine somebody being stoned to death. It is not easy. It is a very painful moment. But even in that pain, God was his strong tower. God did not allow him to die. Why? Because he had work to do. You still have work to do. It is not yet your time to die. You will not die, brothers and sisters. You will survive the storm. You will survive the stoning. You will survive the fire. God will consume all your adversaries, because God is a consuming fire. Well, go ahead and share this message with somebody else. Let them know of this good news. Like this video. Now until next time, be blessed.